This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
What it is all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. You know, man.
What it is.
Hey, freaky deaky, what it is.
What it be like.
What it be like, freaky deaky. I do miss that. I really do. You know, it's interesting because today, interesting to me anyway. Maybe not to you guys, but every time I go out of town for an extended period of time, when I come back, I go for a drive around North Minneapolis just to remind me where I came from. And I think that's good for people to do, by the way, to remind yourself where you actually did come from. And I did that tour this morning, and it was really very, very interesting. You drive around all, the houses you used to live. I couldn't drive past all 43 because I had to be here by 8.
Yeah, we wanted to start the show relatively on time.
Yeah, exactly. But you drive by all these places your mother used to work, the Merwin Drugs there on Broadway and Lindale, and Kokomo's, which is on 26 between Emerson and DuPont, I believe it is, and maybe Emerson and Fremont. Yeah, it might be Emerson and Fremont, but that building hasn't been used in I don't know how many years. It's just sitting there, kind of ramshackle. But yeah, I mean, it really did me a lot of good to drive through that neighborhood and just remember. And it just reminded me once again, I really wish people would understand we are not all the same. We had different experiences. So try not to judge people by the way they react to things. We all didn't live the same life,
Yeah, no, that's, depending on where you grew up, if you grew up in, the middle of nowhere, Minnesota on a farm, you're going to have a different experience than growing up downtown or in a St. Louis Park suburb.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Matter of fact, we're getting to a news story about that in a couple of minutes about, people and the way they're acting these days. Very, very hard. Well, when I came into the building here, there was a young woman behind me carrying a bag in one hand, her coffee in the other hand. So I held the door for her, and then I went in and held the second door. There are 2 doors to get into this building. And she said to me, literally, she looked at me and she was very happy and smiling. She said, "That never happens anymore." I said, "You got to understand something." Now, you remember, I just got back from driving around North Minneapolis. So I said, "You got to understand something, young lady. My mother would hate me if I didn't hold the door for you." And that's just a fact. My mother would come back from heaven to get me.
I don't want to hold this door open for you, but my mother will kill me if she finds out that I'm not holding this door open.
That's it. And then she started laughing about that too. But I really do wish people would get a little more polite. Another experience I've never had in my life. I've had a big morning already, man. It's just, a very, very big day, holding doors for grateful people and driving around North Minneapolis, looking at where my friends lived. And the only thing it did remind me of that 95% of those people are dead. That does bother me, but a lot of them died very young. Some were murdered, unfortunately, just the way that goes. But so then I get back into, honky land out in the suburbs, and I'm just kind of driving around, and I'm going to hop on 494. Okay. The person in front of me entering 494, a freeway in the state of Minnesota, was driving all the way down the ramp and onto the highway at 17 miles an hour.
Yeah, and that's where
he goes, yeah.
And that's when murder is okay.
Yes.
I cannot exaggerate when I say that I feel no amount of hatred as much as I do, like in my heart and in my soul for someone, than when they merge onto the highway drastically under the speed limit. We've got places to go. Everybody's going to work. Just be a normal person.
Yes.
Accelerate. That's what it's there for.
Yep. I will be the nicest person, most understanding with whatever inconvenience you have in your life at most times of the day. But if it's on the road and merging into traffic, every nice bone in my body just leaves, and I will cuss you out in about 2 seconds.
Well, it's dangerous. I mean, the person, I wouldn't even say it was a man or a woman. It's not necessary. All the way onto the freeway. She was, I just blew that.
We all assumed.
Whoops. I didn't mean to do that, but but you see, God paid me back for trying to be nice. So don't forget it. Tell him who it was. 17 miles. I'm looking at my speedometer and I'm doing 17 miles an hour behind her. I was not tailgating her or anything like that.
Oh, I would be.
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't you? At 17, you're not going to get hurt even if you do collide. But all the way on the freeway, they were doing 17 miles an hour. I think, what are you doing?
And like you said, that's dangerous though, too,
God,
because
yeah.
if you like, you have to get onto the freeway. You have to get into a lane. And if somebody is in the right lane, and even if they're going under, let's say it's like 60 miles per hour, they're going 55. They're still like slamming on the brakes. And it frankly just causes traffic. Yes. And that's when, and I tell Tevin about this all the time, because Tom, you were down in Florida for a while. You just got back recently. And the amount of times that I would come in here and I text Tevin like, hey, voice command, whatever, let Tevin know traffic's bad. If there's a traffic holdup, I want to at least see, this sounds bad, but I want to see an accident. I want to see the reason why.
Yeah, I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
But when it just like suddenly magically it opens up and people remember, hey, we're all driving somewhere, that's what annoys me. And that's one of those instances where we're just creating a traffic jam for zero reason other than you just wanted to merge onto the highway at 17 miles an hour.
And it's an adjustment for me too, because in Florida, if you ain't doing 85, you better get the hell out of the way. I'll tell you that. It's like, whoa, man.
Yeah, it feels like warm climate areas are a little bit more crazy as far as the speed goes. Yeah. I remember when I moved to Arizona, like going down like a residential street. I was like, is it 60 miles an hour, the speed limit down to? Like, it looks like NASCAR.
It's true. So that's maybe why I've noticed it so much this year, because I've been driving at 80 miles an hour to just not get run over. And then you come back here, and about half the people here do probably 10 to 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, and the other half of the people drive about 17 miles an hour on an entrance ramp.
Yes.
So what drives that? Why do some people drive fast and other people drive slow? You would think you'd kind of meet in the middle. No?
Some people want to play NASCAR and other people are like defensive as all get out. The thing is, and I was thinking about this, I think about this a lot. Driving, I think a lot of people have the mindset of is I am the only person.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am in a race. And why wouldn't you think that? Because it's your time. I consider it more, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
You played a team sport.
Yep.
Sometimes you're gonna have the one really bad kid. The one kid that, like, if you're playing hockey, you go out there, like they go up to bat for their one at bat. They're at the bottom of the lineup. That's the 17 mile per hour driver. They're bad. They're reckless. Like they're a pain in the butt. But then you have to coerce. You have to work with other people. You let each other in. You merge at certain times. You flip on. You don't just like merge over. You have your blinker for a reason. It's a team sport. Commuting is a team sport. So let's all work together.
No, you're absolutely right. I don't understand why you can't meet in the middle at about 65, which is the speed limit anyway. So just kind of meet in the middle there. That'd be good. But that'll never happen. So such is life. We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Some sports yucks on with it. What's his name again? Jude? Oh, no, that's my dog.
We're going to have the dog on.
Jude would come on.
Jude with the sports report. Yeah.
Jude. Only if the Twins lose, you'd be growling.
Right.
Hi, Tom Barnard here for Livia Weight Control Centers. Now it's time to get a jump on summer. You could lose up to 20 pounds or more in your first 8 weeks to Livia Way. When you join Livia, you'll receive a personalized and doctor-recommended program tailored to your unique needs, goals, and lifestyle. Livia's amazing team of registered dietitians and nutritionists will guide you every step of the way. Join Livia today and get your first 8 weeks free. I did mention yesterday when we got back that I was out of town for three straight days and ate at the restaurants the whole 3 straight days. Put on a couple of pounds. Well, I think I got like 0.4 of a pound of that left. So it'll be gone by tomorrow morning, then into Friday and all the rest of it. But you get back on the program, and actually that was really good for me. Does that make sense to you guys that I basically ate like everybody else did for 3 days? Yes, I did gain a couple of pounds, but you go back on the program and it's not like you got to starve yourself or anything to get it off. It will return to where you were if you just are a little moderate about everything. So I learned that, with this program, if you just go back to moderation, it'll take care of you, which I like. Join Livia today. Get your first 8 weeks free. Visit Livia.com. That's LIVEA.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA. And Livia is now offering GLP-1 medications. Quiet the food noise and see accelerated results by summer. Visit Livia.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA. Start your weight loss journey now and get a jump on summer the Livia way.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you go to a restaurant, do you expect the chef to be an expert? Do you expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car? Yes, I do. I do expect that. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future and in getting you to go to a Twins game tonight, which, by the way, I just looked at the weather. The game's 6:30 start? It starts thunderstorming at 6 p.m. So how far in advance do they cancel the games if they know it's going to rain all night?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like they usually try to push it up to the very last minute because they don't want to lose out on money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be downtown and all of a sudden to get the bolt of lightning at 5:55. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Here's what I would do. I would hedge. I would go ahead and get a dinner reservation at a nice restaurant just in case. And then if that doesn't work out, you go there.
Oh, good idea.
Cool.
You can do that, no question. But Josh, we're supposed to go see the Twins tonight. Were they taking on Oakland? No, not Oakland.
No,
Who the hell is
Tampa.
it?
Is it Tampa Bay?
I think it is Tampa
Yep.
Bay. I think you're right. There you go. I talk to Josh every week. Talked to him last night. As a matter of fact, he understands the market, the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. Let me put it this way. I wish, as far as investments were concerned, I had known Josh Arnold 20 years ago because I'd be a hell of a lot better off if I knew him 20 years ago than I am today by trying to help people. It's very expensive trying to help people. No question. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
All right, Judd, have they called the game tonight yet, or what's the deal?
Oh, no. And they probably won't until, on Saturday, I think they called it about an hour before the game, more or less.
Okay, so basically, I'm going to not hear. The game is 6:30 start tonight or 7:30?
6:40, I think, is the
6:40, there you go.
official
That
weekday times.
Okay, so by 5:40, I shouldn't leave the house before 5:40. Is that what you're saying?
Probably not. Well, and I looked as well. Yeah, it's weird. It's humid right now, but it's not supposed to rain till this evening. But then once this evening hits, it looks like it's going to rain pretty consistently, right?
For the next 6 days or something.
Oh, this is incredible. Yeah, I'm looking at the forecast here. So it's not supposed to rain tomorrow, but then a 50% chance of showers on Thursday, 60% on Friday, 50% on Saturday. Yeah. Give me a good old-fashioned drought.
How about this? How about if God lets Tommy play golf? I haven't played in 7 years. I decided to start playing this year, and it's been raining every day since I've been back. What the hell?
I don't know.
God,
All I know is we're never happy, right? Because if it's too dry out, we're concerned about a drought and fires. And if it's rains like this, we're concerned about flooding. So I'll just take the drought.
What movie was that when the two guys, one guy was crabbier than hell? I don't know. They're just kind of sitting around outside. Guy's crabbier than some bitch. Guy goes, "What's the matter?" Never mind. Just don't bother me. It's like, why don't you be in a better mood? I mean, think about it. God created this wonderful planet. Why don't you enjoy it? Long pause. There is no God.
I don't know what that is.
Crabbier than hell. It was very fun. Just to see his face while he was saying there is no God was hilarious. Very, very funny. But in any case, so I shouldn't leave the house before about 5:40 tonight, just in case they call the game, because it looks like it's going to not only rain but thunderstorm.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's that deal.
Yeah.
Right?
And their only problem is so Tampa Bay only comes here once, and they called the game on Saturday, but then they just backed it up to play a split doubleheader on Sunday. So I wonder if they would have to entertain another doubleheader like tomorrow when it's not supposed to rain. I don't know.
Possible. It's going to be cloudy all day, but it's not supposed to rain tomorrow. That's
right. Good. Yeah. It looks like the one day this week that there's not a probable chance of showers.
Exactly right. Oh, Tom's back in town. Let's
create some havoc with the weather.
Havoc is good. Okay, I just want to throw this at you because I already talked to AJ and Tevin about this morning. On my way to work today, getting on 494, and the person in front of me was doing 17 miles an hour all the way down the entrance ramp onto the freeway at 17 miles an hour.
Oh,
I was like, are you trying to get us killed? Is that what you're doing? It was just unbelievable. 17 miles an hour the whole way right onto the freeway.
What? So how did they get in? Was there no traffic then on the freeway? How the hell did they get in?
It was the long entrance ramp. And I literally, as soon as I saw an opening, I went over a couple of lanes just to get that away from all the rest of it. But I suppose people had to clamp on the binders just so they didn't rear end her.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. That drives you crazy. Because like you said, it's dangerous.
Oh God, yes. It's very, very dangerous.
It's dangerous.
What's happening in your world, pal?
Well, your Twins are again red hot after, they got swept by the Yankees and then lost 2 in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. This has been one of the more bizarre seasons I can recall, because they are either on a heater or they look like they have no idea how to play baseball. They couldn't score a run. I mean, they got shut out in back-to-back games by Pittsburgh, not the Yankees, Pittsburgh. And now they are crushing the ball. But again, the problem comes back to there's so many bad teams in baseball that they're beating up. So I think we talked about this last week. Something like they're a stretch of 10 or 13 games in a row or against last place teams. So they won 2 or 3 against the Rockies, who are just terrible. Then they swept the A's in 4. Now they get 3 more against the Rays, who aren't as bad as they're probably not as bad as the A's and the Rockies, but they're in last place in the American League East. And then they go to Oakland.
God, very fortunate.
Yeah, you'll take it. But my question is, can they beat good teams consistently? Because they have beat some good teams. But, if they're almost at this point in time, they would be at the very least the last wild card team. And who knows, they could come back and win the division if they can get their act together consistently.
Yeah, they're only 5.5 out.
Yeah, it's nuts, though.
They can handle that. I should probably not say that. I don't know if anybody else played yesterday. I assume they did, but they were 5.5 out after that game, that doubleheader finished.
Cleveland didn't play, so it still should be the same.
So 5.5 out, but there's one team. What isn't Kansas City's up on us by a half a game?
Now they are. Yep.
Mm-hmm. But Kansas City's not very good either, are they?
They're much improved.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they're much improved, but they're not great. And I think the Twins have beaten them, 4 times?
I think so, yeah.
So that's the weird thing. Go and look at some point at the National League wildcard race. It is unbelievable. Really? Everyone's within 2 games or a half game. Some bad teams too. It's just like this race for among these bottom feeding teams. But it's actually really close. It's hilarious because the expanded playoffs now create this logjam, which is what baseball wants ultimately.
Yeah, that's true. Because then everybody goes to the games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You want to have as many people with hope throughout the entire season as possible, even if it is false hope for 90% of these teams.
All true. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully we can go to the game tonight, but it sure doesn't look like there's going to be a game to me anyway.
Here's my question. Do Josh's seats, if that's who you are going with, have some type of shelter, some type of cover?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
He's a big shot. I mean, I'll ask him. He's going to be on in about an hour. I go, are you a big shot? And I'll find out what he says.
Well, if he's got cover, I mean, depending on where those seats are, he could be.
Oh, his area is very pleasant. I will say. I shouldn't have said that. It sounds like I made this very vile reference. His area is very.
I knew what you meant, by the way.
Yeah, thank God.
I knew you were not referring to something untoward.
Untoward. That's exactly right. No question about it. So I'd like to go see the Twins play tonight, but I'm not holding my breath, as they used to say.
The worst thing would be if there's windows to play some and they start the game and then they delay it again. At that point in time, I'm not sure about you, but I'm past that.
Yep.
I would just leave.
I understand.
I'm not going to sit here for a rain delay. Then they're going to come back and play for a couple of innings, and then they're going to have another rain delay. They're going to, roll out the tarp. Sorry, it's a Tuesday night. I got to go to sleep.
Yeah, rolling out the tarp. It's time to go home. You're absolutely right about that.
As a kid, I would, beg to stay. Now, sorry,
We got to get a cyclone fence out there in the left field again, so people can stick their beer cups in and spell people's names out and take shots at them with beer cups. God, that was fun at Metropolitan Stadium.
Yeah, and so I started to go to Twins games since '78, and the cyclone fence was gone.
Oh, it was gone then.
They put the padding in, but yes, I've seen pictures of the cyclone fence. It is absolutely outstanding. I didn't realize they spelled names in with the beer cups.
With beer cups, and my favorite of all time still. Rudy sucks. Joe Rudy.
Oh, that's great.
Rudy sucks. And of course, Rudy's about 25 feet from him. So
oh, he probably liked it back then.
He probably did. Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, I'd be honored. Somebody put that up in beer. Took all that time with beer cups to put my name up there.
Spent all that money.
Spent all that money.
Do you know how much that would cost now?
Oh God.
Like you'd have to be rich.
Yeah, it'd be about 20 cups and like $15 a piece, like $300.
Yeah.
I think we're ever going to see that again.
No.
First of all, there are no more cyclone fences, and secondly, nobody's spending $300 to take a shot at Joe Rudy.
Exactly right. And the cups aren't right now because those were the old school beer cups, right?
Yes.
Like now they're the nice sturdy plastic. I don't think you could force those into a cyclone fence.
No, I think they had to be paper. You're absolutely right.
The old paper ones, yeah.
No doubt about it.
Of course, Tom, nothing topped the Metrodome beers when they used to come pre-poured with cellophane on top of them.
What? That's right. I forgot about
that. It was, Tevin, it was a terrible experience. I'm telling you, I came of age in the worst possible. I mean, yeah, they won a couple of World Series, but can you imagine trying to sneak a beer at like 19 and you land one and it's got a cellophane wrapper on it and it's pre-poured, which means it's warm?
That in the Field of Dreams movie, that's one of my favorite parts. Is he finally gets Ed McMahon or whatever the character's name is to the ball game, and they're talking, and they go to the concession stand before they go sit down. And he's like, "What do you want? Dog and a beer?" And the guy turns around and get the hot dog. And the other guy, just right in front of him, there's pre-poured beer like all across the counter. He's like, "Here you go." That's got to be the grossest, warmest beer of all time.
Nope, hard pass.
True confession. Field of Dreams, overrated.
I agree.
Tevin doesn't like it.
I thought there was going to be more of a reaction from AJ.
I agree.
Overrated.
What's overrated about the Field of Dreams? I don't even think I've seen the Field of Dreams.
That's Kevin Costner?
Yes.
Kevin
Costner.
Yeah, there you
if you build it, he will come.
Yeah, there you go.
Great cast. Leota, Kevin Costner, James Earl Jones. The cast was fantastic. But all of these people that I hear about, hey, dad, hey, son, let's have one last catch. Sorry, it doesn't do it for me.
You just mentioned one of my favorite people I've ever met of all times, James Earl Jones, man. You should stand next to him when he's talking. Or is he still with us?
I believe he died.
I think he did die, unfortunately.
I think he's alive.
Is he?
I think he's still with us.
Great.
Oh, no, he is. 93 years old.
93.
Good for him.
But you know what happens to you when you stand there talking to James Earl Jones?
What's that?
It happened to me. So he goes, "Well, Tom, how is your day going so far?" "Well, not bad, James." You just fall right into that deal.
Well, you're close too. Like your voice at least is somewhat compared. Like you've got the pipes. Think about how most of us would feel with that voice. The voice of the original Darth Vader, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, James Earl, great actor on his own too, by the way. This is a kid who I believe had such a bad stutter. He didn't talk. He told me he didn't talk for like 3 years. Somebody could look it up. I think it was 3 years he didn't talk at all.
Wow.
And then when he started talking again, he didn't stutter, and his voice sounded like this. It's like, what? Maybe I shouldn't have talked for it. I'd sound much deeper. That'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? A little scary. But just a gentleman, the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. Great guy. I'm glad to hear he's still alive at 90, and I'm glad he's past 92.5 too. So that's good.
It's an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment, exactly. But so yeah, I would love to see the Twins play tonight. Why does God do this to me? Is it on purpose?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know your background with God necessarily.
Well,
so are there things we don't know about here that could cause this rain problem?
Let's see all the murders in my family. My father was schizophrenic, and we had to be put in mental institution, and my But I had a great mother. That was good. My sisters and my mother. My brother's great people too.
Well, there. See, then what's the problem? I will say this. I will take a rain delay. I will take rain delays and rainouts 100 out of 100 times over playing in a dome.
No, I understand that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that dome was a disaster. And I love the fact that it was a football stadium. So if you were sitting between home and third base, you were faced away from the batter's box.
Yes.
You had to look over your shoulder to watch the game.
It was absolute baseball. Like, a lot of people love it because of, what it's, because they won a couple of World Series and stuff, but it was, for the most part, baseball hell. As a baseball fan, it was seriously, like, what was the advantage? The seats, you're right. Well, first of all, the rows were ridiculous.
Yes.
Because they cram like 80 seats together. So you couldn't get out of, so if you were in the middle and had to take a whiz in the fifth, good luck for that.
Oh God. Yeah. Yep.
It was a terrible place to get drunk.
I will tell you now, though, U.S. Bank Stadium, even though it's hideous on the outside, that is one of the ugliest buildings I have ever seen. But the inside is spectacular. It's a beautiful stadium. You got your Twin Stadium. Target Field is phenomenal.
Yep.
We got some great places here, no doubt.
I'm going to blow your mind by telling you this. U.S. Bank Stadium is designed to look like a Viking ship.
I know.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I had to read that to be like, oh, yeah, I guess it is.
I don't see it personally. I got to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like.
You know what it looks like? Actually, one of those Tesla trucks. Those.
Yeah. Like a Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck. Yeah, the Cybertruck. It looks exactly like a Cybertruck. So there you go.
That's a good one. Anyway.
All right. Well, what do you got going today, Pally?
Not much. I was debating myself going down to the ball game, but I looked at that forecast and said, I went on Sunday. I went to both games, so I did but this is why I want them to play good teams as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I went to the first game of the Rockies Twins series a week ago Monday, and I literally said I cannot come back and watch the Rockies again. This is painful. Yeah. Oakland's better than the Rockies. God, they're not great. They ain't good, but they're better than the Rockies.
Isn't that amazing? When I was a kid, the Oakland A's won two or three World Series, didn't they?
Charlie Finley.
Oh God, there's a name I haven't heard in a while.
The white shoes, the mustaches.
Yep.
Oh, the A's were. I told someone this yesterday. I said, these City Connect jerseys get all of this pushback or excitement. And each team now has 3 or 4 combinations or jerseys. I said nothing can compare to Bill Veeck and Charlie Finley in the 70s. The White Sox had shorts. They spent like 2 seasons with which one of their designs was shorts.
Isn't that great?
Which I kind of like, but then also sliding anywhere on a baseball diamond is not gonna feel great.
Yeah.
I still, to this day, the White Sox, because he's a good friend of mine, Steve Dahl, legendary morning guy in Chicago. When he went out there and burned those disco records, I still can't believe he got away with that. There's this huge flame in the middle of the
What's the Netflix documentary about the St. Paul Saints with Mike Beck?
Yeah.
That
was Mike Beck's idea.
Yes, it was. Charlie Beck didn't like it, from what I heard. He didn't like the idea, but Mike did.
Yeah. it basically cost Mike a career in Major League Baseball for decades.
Yep.
The two greatest 1970s specialty nights or promotions of all time: Disco Demolition Night between games of a doubleheader at the old Comiskey, and 10-cent beer night in Cleveland.
Oh, what a mistake.
And if you have never Googled, because there's now retrospective stories, 10-cent beer night, it is one of the great all-time stories.
Weren't there tons and tons of fist fights because of that?
I think there were tons and tons of a lot of things that people aren't supposed to be doing, period, or at least in public because of that.
Oh, that's right. There was a lot of sexy action too, wasn't there?
Now it's Cleveland, so who knows? But yeah, I'm willing to bet. And what didn't they? I believe both games ended up in a forfeit, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
I think they forfeited both games. Well, I know that because of Disco Demolition Night, between games of the double, they destroyed the field basically.
Yes, right.
So they couldn't play game 2. And then I want to say the Cleveland 10-cent beer night went sideways too. I mean, I know you're shocked by that.
I still love the fact that Scott Jameson, a buddy of mine's from Cleveland, I always bring it up to him. The Cleveland River, the only river that ever caught fire.
Yep.
That actually did happen. The river caught fire. Yep. That's hard to do, man.
Cleveland's fine now. It's nice.
Yeah.
But in the 70s, oh my God, what a disaster.
It was unbelievable. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame still there, isn't it?
Absolutely is.
There you go. You ever
Absolutely is. I have not.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Hunyuk, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Awesome, guys, and good luck on that ball game tonight, Tom.
We're going to try our best. Thank you.
I know you will. All right, guys, talk to you.
Judd, Zulgad, SKOR North. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break. Be right back in a couple minutes. Chris Egert will join us. K&L Surplus and Ammo in Lina Lakes would be my choice. Your choice should be too, for firearms and ammunition. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business and has a great selection of all the brands like Benelli, Tikka, Beretta, and SKB. And I got to throw in here, I'm watching a little TV the other night, and here comes Jim. Now he's a big shot on camera on television. Oh, Jim, the TV personality. I know hunting season is a ways off, but if you're thinking about getting something new for the upcoming season, now is actually a great time to start looking. The advances in rifle and shotgun technology over the last few years is amazing. If you're using something that's more than 10 years old, you might be missing out on better performance and better results. If there's anyone that can help you get the right gun for hunting this fall, it's Jim at K&L Surplus and Ammo. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Lina Lakes and open Tuesday through Saturday. Call them at 763-757-2614, or you can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
My Pillow. Oh, yeah, I just want to mention some first before we go to My Pillow, because Mike Lindell wouldn't mind, but Jim Paul there on those Valley commercials. A guy named Craig Weiss, who was a brilliant commercial writer, wrote some of the greatest commercials you've ever heard nationally. Just really, really talented guy. So Craig Weiss and I and a couple of women and Jim Paul used to go on these trips. Like we'd go up to Barnard and play golf up there. We do this, we do that, spend a lot of time together. My favorite story ever. And we should get him on the air sometime. We got to get Jim Paul on the air sometime to tell a story when Craig Weiss insulted a Navy SEAL down in southern Florida. They're at the bar. Craig insults a Navy SEAL. Jim Paul, he said all he could do was kind of hang on to the guy like he said he had no chance. This guy is huge, right? But that does sound like Craig. Craig would do something like that. Insult a Navy SEAL in Florida. But yeah, we have to have him. He would tell that story much better than I just told it. So we got to get him on. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. I support Mike every chance I get. He's been great to me over the years. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM. And to get free shipping on your entire order, get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale. From the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Now, what now? What a hunyuck.
This the mobile app for this thing that you guys do the show, I can hardly see it when I'm out and about. It's like that big, and I grabbed my glasses to see if it would help it.
What are you looking at anyway?
I'm looking at a phone screen, but you guys, Tom, you're like the size of a tiny little ant. I can't even see your face.
Help me, Chris. Help me.
That's my real voice right there. Right there, baby. So, well, we don't need to look at each other. We can see you. You're looking good up on our screen, so that'll work.
That's good. That's good. How's everybody today?
Marvelous, except for I was supposed to go to the Twins game with Josh Arnold tonight, and I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, if they. I haven't seen the forecast there. I know I'm up in Grand Forks today, and it's pouring rain. It poured all night. Like,
oh God,
thundered and lightning and everything all night last night.
Did you go to KNOX radio building and just salute it?
I drove by and I stopped for a moment and I thought of the great things that happened in there.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
I took pause and then I somehow moved on for the rest of the day.
Somehow you just happened. I still love it. A very, very quick story. Kid right out of North Minneapolis. I think I was like 18 years old, 17 maybe even. Mm-hmm. I go up there and the first thing they want me to do is interview a sugar beet farmer. I'm like, I don't interview a farmer. Guy with a farm. I mean, I like farmers, don't get me wrong, but I don't know anything about farming and all the rest of it. The guy pulls up in a Rolls Royce. I went, oh, that kind of farmer.
Yeah, I think we talked about this yesterday. There's a lot of farm money that's around.
Whew, a lot of dough, lots and lots of dough. So what are you up there for an event?
My daughter's got a basketball camp here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We're kind of in that season of our lives where she's going to be a senior next year. So, go around and do a lot of these things on this summer. So
does your daughter get a lot of heat because you're famous?
I don't think so. I don't think
none at all.
None of the kids have any idea what any of their parents do. I don't think.
You might be right. We used to know that when I was a kid. We always knew what somebody else's dad was doing or mom was doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think to some extent they get a little bit more aware of it, but anybody that age, they're looking at the screen, they're looking at the phone screen, they're not looking at the TV screen for the most part. So
I'm glad you brought that up. How about that guy that said we're going to start putting warning announcements on social media?
The Surgeon General, yeah, that was big.
Surgeon General, yep.
And I was go ahead, Ted.
Oh no, you finish your sentence.
I was just going to say that's funny that you bring that up because I'm in the hotel room watching a story on the news, looking at my phone, and my kid is over there getting ready, but the TV's on so she can hear it in the background. And
she could hear everything that they were saying, and the Surgeon General says they put a warning on the phone and it'll get teens to stop looking at their phones, and didn't even blink at it, which I think is exactly what will happen when you tell a teenager or you put a warning on. I mean, have you ever known a young person to see a warning and then stop and hesitate, or do they just ignore it like pretty much everything, right? I don't know.
Why are you looking at me when you say that? I followed the rules as a child.
Absolutely, you did, but it's like putting the warning on the pack of cigarettes. If you're gonna smoke a pack of cigarettes, you're still gonna do that, regardless of what the warning is. I mean, I don't know. I do believe it is an epidemic. I do believe it is causing a lot of harm to them and to us. But
it is.
I don't know how to stop the train from going down the tracks at this point.
You know, it's interesting. Like I said, I got back on Facebook after 12 years of being off social media. And either I've gotten one negative message or I don't get any messages, or they block the negative messages. But I don't do it. They must do it automatically or something if they get too mean.
Well, I mean, maybe you're in friendly territory because people who are following you are they like you and they come there for you and whatever kind of content you're putting out. So maybe there aren't a lot of haters on there.
Probably.
I don't think everything on social media is toxic, but I do think a lot of it can go that direction pretty quickly.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. No, I literally used to have to I'll be in front of KQ in 20 minutes. Beat me. I was like every day. Like, get over it, Tom. Relax. But yeah, I don't know. Don't you think, Tevin? I mean, you're a big fella. Don't you think a lot of those guys that do that kind of stuff are just know they get their ass kicked if they went and did it in a bar?
Yeah, there's a lot of keyboard warriors where they know, like, they don't have their face on their picture profile pictures, just like the egg or picture of their dog, and everybody wants to be real tough until it's time to go meet up somewhere.
My favorite of that is there's this interaction where this guy, this UFC fighter, like, posted about like an upcoming fight he's doing, and this guy replied and he's like, "You're not gonna stand 20 seconds, you're such a loser, you're weak." And the guy's like, "I bet you wouldn't say that to me in person." And then he replied, "Exactly, that's why I'm saying it on here."
See, I love that.
Yeah, it's like, all right,
that I like. Yeah, I'm not lying to you. I'm scared to death of you.
Right. He's like, "Oh, you'd kick my ass," but
he's like, "Yeah, I'm fully aware."
Sonny Barger, head of the Hells Angels, no longer with us. He died, but he did say it all when he said, "Everybody's a tough guy until they meet a tough guy."
Yep.
It's very true.
It's very true. And there's lots of tough guys on those phones. I can tell you that right now.
No, I'm sure it's true. No question. So how everything else in the Grand Forks, they still get that statue of me up there?
It's right.
Oh,
that's I'm out in front of the hockey arena, which if you're a hockey fan, like, this place is pretty legendary. There's
the Ralph.
Yep, the Ralph. And then the
Ralph, yep.
The gym where the girls basketball thing's happening. So it's Ralph was the namesake of the hockey arena. Betty is the namesake of the girls basketball facility, or women's basketball, which is, so it's this whole big campus of arenas. And it's a really pretty campus. I know, Tevin, since you're North Dakota State guy, you probably hate on UND.
It's so unfortunate that they still have that whole just town of Grand Forks is still a thing, so I really feel for the citizens out there that they have to endure living. Fargo's not much better, so I can't say too much, but
man, I have a couple people I work with, and they're NDSU graduates, and they're like, "Oh my God, UND, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, stop with that nonsense. This is a beautiful school.
God, my favorite memory of Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Leaving?
No, that's very negative. Very negative, I think. No, I get a call one night, and this guy wants to say, "Man, I just want to welcome you to town, and you want to meet over at God, what was the name of that place? They had to Sambo's. Remember this guy named Sam and a guy named Bo, and they called it Sambo?
Yeah, those aren't around anymore.
No, then it became Boki or something. I don't know what the hell it became. Bosom. That's what it became.
Huh.
But so I meet the guy over at Sambo's, and I walk in, I sit down, and he goes, "Are you Tom?" I said, "Yeah." That's a black man in America today. He thought I was black because of the tone of my voice. We ended up living together, he and his sister and me. It was a great experience because this is 1970. So you're talking 54 years ago. There's a white guy living with a black woman and a black man in this apartment building. That was not very common back in those days, I'll tell you. But it made me feel right at home because I came from North. It was great. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah,
really nice.
I remember you telling me that story. And that's pretty progressive for back in the day. That's for sure.
But that's how I grew up.
I also think it's hilarious that you were very much in your Catman phase of where your voice was.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had no idea you're a white guy. Like, that's hilarious.
He thought for sure we better save this black guy that just came to Grand Forks from.
Watch it over here. This place can be a little.
Yeah, that's a great memory. There's no question about that. Looking back at all that.
That's cool.
It was indeed, but yeah, he was his sister was at the University of North Dakota, and he was in the U.S. Air Force. That's why they were both up there. So that worked out. So what else has happened? Everything else good?
Bacon prices are going up. That's all I can tell you.
Why?
Because
I just ate enough.
Yep. That was another thing I saw in the news this morning. I thought I'd pass along as a day brightener that the bacon prices are going up.
Are there some people who don't like bacon? How could you not like bacon? I mean, if you don't eat meat, I suppose. But
a lot of people, for religious reasons, they're not into the bacon. But yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to ask Josh Arnold if he eats bacon because he's a Jew.
I'm going to guess probably not, but I guess it
you don't know Josh that well then.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people are die hard, some people are not. So,
it all works out in the end. That's all I have to say. All right, you hunyuck, get in there and support your daughter. You know what? Let me just say this. It's quite honorable that you travel that distance to honor your daughter. And that's what being a parent's all about, Pally. So congratulations.
Well, you know what? I know that this time is pretty limited, and I did this a couple years ago, and I cherish it. So
there's no doubt about that. So have a great time with your family.
All right, guys, take care.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. For your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. We'll take a break and be right back in a couple minutes. More news right after this. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Evening Meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement
Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I was just talking about how fast, maybe it's not for the listeners, though. Maybe it drags. I'm not sure, but that first hour of the show just flies by, man. Unbelievable. Then you got all of about a half hour left, so it's kind of works out.
Yeah, and for you going from the longer 4.5, 5 hour shows to this, you gotta feel it.
It was. That show was 5 hours long. My God, it was a long morning show, no question about it. But sorry if reporting on this stresses you out, but a new poll found more people than ever are actively avoiding the news because it's too stressful. Not just here, but other countries too. 39% of people worldwide said they sometimes or often avoid reading or watching the news. That's up from 29% until 33%, going from 29 to 39. When they did the same survey in 2017, it was at 29%. Experts think all the sad news we've seen out of Ukraine and the Middle East lately are a big factor, and we got burned out by constant updates on the pandemic. I'm sorry, but I still think the number one thing is the hatred that people have for one another now is really sickening, and it's mental illness, no question about it. And our politicians and big business people are driving the whole thing because they make more money from it. It's disgusting. Well, I told you guys that the woman that I held the door for, she could not have been more pleasant, but was shocked that I would hold the door for her, even though she had something in both hands. Isn't that sad that she was shocked that I would hold the door?
Yeah, it feels like that used to be like little things like that. Like even this morning in my elevator, there's like the two most popular floors to get off on are 5 and 6. And I've noticed that a lot of people, if they're going to 5 or 6, if it's already going to the opposite floor, they're like, I'll just walk down the one flight of stairs, not to inconvenience everybody else on the elevator. So there is still hope in the world for people holding doors open and doing small things to help make people's days a little bit brighter.
There are a couple of people. So there are a couple of them out there somewhere, but yeah, we have got to stop listening to these. And again, the local news doesn't do that. At least, that I've seen, the local news here and down in West Palm, they just don't do that kind of thing. It's the national shows. Matter of fact, when I got up this morning at about a little before 6, I turned on, I guess this was right at 6 when I did this, but I turned on the news. It lasted about 30 seconds. Because they were all talking over each other about how horrible everything is. Well, make it better by, not lying about the news. Because that's the number one thing. They were doing a comparison. Well, we did a comparison between the far left and the far right. In other words, it'd be, CNN and Fox. They both lie their ass off about things that they leave out certain words, They leave things out just to get you riled up so you'll watch them more. I think it's having the opposite effect. I watch them a lot less. I hardly watch them at all now because I got sick of being lied to and people talking over one another. I mean, you guys go that route?
Oh, yeah. Because it used to be, because they would write the headlines, so-and-so says this. It's like, well, when you look at the greater context of what was said, the headline is completely misleading. And so
totally.
It's like, you're tired of being lied to and just getting kind of force fed the same overall narrative of negativity. And it's like, I can just unplug from this and go for a walk.
No doubt about it. Only 46. Do you think something just popped into my head and I don't know. Trump hasn't announced who his running mate is yet, has he?
No, not to my knowledge.
Do you think he'll be smart enough to pick someone that everyone likes? Like a Marco Rubio. Everybody likes him, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Trump's such a wild card where
he is.
It doesn't, nothing would surprise me. He could come out and be like, Oprah Winfrey and I are teaming up, or Mark Cuban, or Joe Schmo.
Could be.
Whoever. There's nothing that he would do that would surprise me, I guess.
This guy's from Georgia's named Tim. I think he's a U.S. Senator.
Wadner?
Yeah, Tim Laudner is a U.S. Senator. Can you imagine the shape this country would be in if Laudner was a U.S. Senator? Oh, my God. Although he'd tell the truth, so that'd be very different. But yeah, I just this story does not surprise me at all. Only 46% of people say they're very or extremely interested in the news now, which is down from 63% just last year. But we've been talking about this on this show for a while. It is unwatchable because you lie your ass off. It's very negative. You're lying to people to try to get them to watch you more. It has not worked. People watch you less because you did that. I just could you just do the news?
Yeah, and I'm sort of with this article too, where a lot of the news is just like there's never anything good.
No,
it's always like, hey, our top stories tonight: 2 people killed in a shooting, and the bird flu is evolving, so you might be in danger of that now. And bacon prices are going up, and housing prices are going up, even though there's wildfires and all this stuff.
Right.
And then at the very end of the broadcast is like, hey, and there's a new panda at the zoo. And it's like, is that supposed to offset everything I just heard for the past half hour? What are we doing?
So I think local news is very, very smart not going that route. I'm sure in some cities they do probably, I would guess, but they don't do that here. Just don't go that lying, that whole deal.
And like the panel shows where it's the round table discussion.
Terrible.
It's probably a mix of I just don't understand the concepts either. Like I'm not as knowledgeable in the world of politics or investments and economics and whatnot. So like a lot of the conversation goes right over my head, and it's just like, okay, I don't really know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's it's annoying to watch somebody trying to give a point, and then after, to your point, Tom, 2 seconds, it's, well, actually, let's all talk over each other, and I'm not going to let you say your point.
Yep.
And like, just have a timer, shut off the mics, and then go 30 seconds back and forth. Like this is not a hard concept.
Yeah, everybody's trying to be a hero, and it just sucks. The national news is the worst it's ever been. It's just really bad. Sorry, night owls. Experts say staying up late damages your mental health. Yeah, staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning is the worst thing you can possibly do, apparently. Unless, of course, you work nights, then you got no shot. That's not the only drawback from a lack of shut-eye. See what we mean with today's list of the top 5 ways to know you're not getting enough sleep. What I like about that is I must not be getting enough sleep because I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10. There's not 5. What does that mean?
That the person that made this list didn't get enough sleep.
Exactly right. See, there you go. The gate agent at Southwest offers to check the bags under your eyes. Oh, see, they're going. Okay, now I see why there are 10. You can't stay awake during your hush money trial. Your coffee order at Starbucks is a double espresso with a shot of fentanyl. Oh, there you go. It's not very nice to say about Starbucks, though, is it?
I didn't know that was on the menu.
No. This one's cool. I'm going to save this one for last. You're up all night tossing and turning, and not in a good way, like Leonardo DiCaprio and a Slovenian supermodel half his age. Ooh, a shot at Leonardo, I mean. You hate mornings like the rest of the WNBA hates Caitlin Clark.
That's good.
That's a good line. That's a good line. It takes forever for you to get out of your bed, or if you work in radio, you're caught at the shelter. Still going after radio, aren't they? I mean, podcasting is going to bury radio eventually. It's well on its way already, but if you're in radio, you have to live at a shelter now. Thanks to dark circles around your eyes, people think you're Vince Vaughn. Oh, that's cold. Whatever happened to Vince Vaughn? You don't see him anymore.
I think he's doing more like producing stuff.
Oh, is he?
So yeah, more behind the camera.
What another great guy. I remember my daughter was with us over at the hotel in town. They were all in town doing a show together. That boy is huge.
Is he?
He's a tall one.
He's like 6'5", very broad shoulders. I mean, man, big guy. You spend most of the day feeling foggy and confused, or as that's known, presidential. See, that's not a bad line.
They're letting everybody have it.
Everybody gets punched in the gut today. You never remember your dreams, but let's be honest, if you wake up aroused, it was probably about me. Oh, thank you so much. Why'd you throw me in there? Okay, and the one that I skipped over, wanted to go last, was You never want to have sex and you're not married. Yeah, that's not a good sign, I wouldn't think. You know what I mean? What do you think of that?
I like the list. I like it.
I think it's a wonderful list. We have to take a break here. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Josh Arnold will join us right after this.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
K&L Surplus and Ammo in Atlanta Lakes is my choice for firearms and ammunition. Jim, the owner, is one of the most knowledgeable people in the business and is great at getting you into the right firearm for your needs. We've talked about that before. You need the right firearm. Jim's a guy who can get it done for you. K&L Surplus and Ammo now carries Benelli shotguns that offer enhanced performance, amazing reliability for uses ranging from waterfowl hunting to skeet shooting and more. I highly encourage you to stop in, talk with Jim and the rest of the K&L Surplus crew. Between their superior knowledge of firearms, friendly customer service, overall stock, and fair pricing, I can't imagine a better location to purchase your next firearm. K&L Surplus and Ammo is on Lake Drive in Atlanta Lakes, open Tuesday through Saturday. You can reach them by phone at 763-757-2614, or you can also visit them online at www.klgunstore.com.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You damn right, ladies and gentlemen. We're just talking about, is Chuck Schumer related to Amy Schumer? Because Tevin told me it's spelled differently.
Or maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
No relation whatsoever.
How do you know that?
I checked the birth certificate. What do you think?
You got it.
She is a second cousin.
Just because they're two Jews.
Oh, Josh, she's a second cousin once removed.
It's unbelievable. Just because you're from North Minneapolis. Is everybody Catholic? No.
Not back in the day, man. It was like, well, basically the only outsider on this show right now would be AJ, because it was black, Jewish, and Catholic. Unless you're Catholic, AJ.
I think I'm not super.
AJ has no idea. AJ's an agnostic, believes in God, but not in religion.
What do you think of that? Is that a good description?
We'll pick it up and run with it for the day at least.
Yeah, what the hell? We'll go that route. It'll be wonderful. No question about it. Josh Arnold with us, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Arnold, give us the number again to call.
952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. You always get straight talk, not sugar-coated advice. Give me a call. Happy to meet with you at any time to discuss your situation and what I can do to help you.
Now, is it true that the stock market went up 5 straight days? Is that right?
Almost like the Boston Celtics.
Almost. Absolutely.
Almost like the Boston Celtics. The Dow has been on a little bit of a tear.
Yep.
Even when it starts down, there's some recovery. Yesterday, the Dow was down, and Nasdaq was up a lot yesterday. As the two initials, if it's got AI in it, it's going to go up more days than not. And if it's got AI and TS, there's a better likelihood that'll go up some more. TS for Taylor Swift.
Oh, I thought it was tough shit. Anyway,
well, what do I know about Taylor Swift? Other than the fact that wherever she goes, she generates, or her shows generate, as much as a Super Bowl every town that she goes to. That is a huge economic impact. You would think that there would be more towns and more venues that would be jumping up and down to host her, regardless of the cost of tickets, which created a situation where the cost of tickets several years ago became too high, and there was such a influx coming into Ticketmaster that their computers crashed, and people were very, very upset, which after 2 years has led to a DOJ suit against Ticketmaster for being a monopolist regarding tickets. Ticketmaster says, nah, sorry, we're not a monopolist. There are plenty of competitors. But that'll take some time to unravel. And in the meantime, Live Nation, which owns Ticketmaster, has seen its stock drop from $102 a share down to $90 a share, and it'll probably trade right around there, at least until their next earnings report, which won't be until July. Well, meantime, okay. Question.
What?
You have a question?
No. I was just wanted to interrupt you to be a pain in the ass.
Okay.
He goes, okay.
It's your show. Your show. You can do what you want. I'm just a guest.
Oh, I like the fact that I mean, they're going up. That's a good sign, I would imagine. But like you said, it's all based on AI, isn't it?
Right now, a lot of it is based on AI and the potential for what AI can do. At some point, AI will be so ubiquitous that people will forget about it,
right?
And they'll go on to something else. So AI, we'll say, is the new, the shiny new toy in the marketplace that has been pushing a lot of stocks up in the last year, starting with Microsoft's conference to say that they invested $13 billion into OpenAI so that they can incorporate Chat GPT, which is developed by OpenAI, into their software. And part was an attempt to get their Bing search engine to compete better with Google, which has a dominant share in search, and part was to integrate that in Microsoft's other software through a program they call Copilot, to which Microsoft can charge higher subscription fees. We're doing something so we can make money.
No.
What a great concept at Microsoft.
Yes.
We're doing something so it is going to benefit our customers, but we're going to also make some money on the deal. What a great concept. I think that's tremendous. Apple, meanwhile, a week ago, did their Worldwide Developers Conference, and that got some analysts, there's nothing new here. You know, they didn't come out with their own AI platform. They're using other people's. What good is that? Well, I'm thinking, well, heck, that's a great deal. Why do you want to continue to reinvent the wheel? Somebody else has a pretty good product. You can put it for a small price into your products, integrate it into your products, so that AI is a feature, not its own separate standalone product. And if it's a feature, well, that's just part and parcel, we'll say, of an updated Siri or updated messaging, or gives you the ability to create your own emojis. And with Apple, the AI could start another upgrade cycle that could last several years for their phone sales, their watch sales, etc. And that would put money in the pockets of Apple shareholders. And Apple has moved up in the last week from $192 a share to $215 a share.
Whoa.
Now, I still hold my $250 price target on Apple, though a few others have upped their price targets. I've remained at $250, at least for the time being, but that could always be subject to change. And speaking of Apple, one of the big index funds that focuses on technology, XLK, is going through a rebalance. At the time that the rebalance was announced, there were three stocks in the S&P and also in NASDAQ that were over $3 trillion. That's three with a T, $3 trillion of market capitalization. Microsoft is slightly larger than NVIDIA, which is slightly larger than Apple. The XLK, the Technology Index Fund, is doing their rebalancing. So Microsoft will remain a 21% weighting. Apple will go from 21% down to just under 5%, and NVIDIA will go from under 5% up to 21%. Makes no sense to me, but that's the way the S&P does this. And I'm sure that there are some other parameters, but that could mean that shares of Apple as we go through the week get sold off by the index fund or maybe other index funds, and more shares of NVIDIA are added, and that could continue to boost NVIDIA's shares. Meantime, other companies around AI have seen their shares move up, including another chip manufacturer, Broadcom, market symbol AVGO. They beat their number and also announced a 10-for-1 stock split. That stock got several upgrades, saying, well, Broadcom should actually replace Tesla in the Magnificent Seven. Tesla, of course, has got some problems not selling enough cars, and that disappoints people. And the other company that's gotten a boost from the AI is Dell Computer, although their stock got knocked down from a high of about 180 a share, traded down to 140 on their numbers, which weren't as good as expected. But in a conference that Dell was at, they talked about how they collect all this data, and they're big on data storage, and they're counting on an upgrade cycle in computers, and that could give their stock a boost over a period of time. So that's another stock to look for. And speaking of upgrading, local bad boy, BBY, known as Best Buy, has gotten several upgrades, again, because of the belief that there'll be an upcoming upgrade cycle for people buying PCs and new smartphones that will be able to handle all the artificial intelligence data. Now, here's, we'll say Dell is related to retail. Best Buy, of course, is a retailer. The retail number for May came out, and that was below expectations, primarily because the price of gasoline dropped significantly. People were not going to restaurants, but they were buying sporting goods, and sporting goods prices were up. So people are still spending money, but maybe not so much.
There you have it, sir. We will probably see you tonight unless it gets rained out.
Well, there's all this food at the ballpark. So I'm thinking they'll bring you down to the ballpark. You'll eat and drink, and then they'll decide what to do.
That sounds good, Pally. We'll see you tonight.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Talk to you.
Josh Arnold, ladies and gentlemen, he's the only person I know that does a financial report while parachuting.
Yeah. To be able to parasail in like that.
I mean, what the hell was that? What was he doing?
Like every day, it's almost like he forgets that he's coming on here every Tuesday because he's either riding a bike, parachuting, or whatever he's doing today. Like,
oh my goodness.
I love Josh. What a great guy. Speaking of great people, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. Be right back. KB2, Kristyn Burtt up next. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at TomBarnardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. KB2, what's the latest?
What's the latest? Should we talk about Justin Timberlake currently in jail?
Why is he in jail?
Wait, whoa, what?
What? Yeah, he got a DWI last night in the Hamptons.
Oh, geez.
We don't really have much information other than he's still in jail. He was picked up last night. He is still there. So I'm guessing they put him in the drunk tank. And he will, there'll be a statement a little later on from the Hamptons Police Department. So people can look forward to that today.
Although I got to be honest with you, if I'm ever put in a drunk tank, I hope it's in the Hamptons.
Right.
I bet the snacks are really good in the drunk tank there.
They might have their own bar in the Hamptons.
They might. It's true.
You get a lobster roll and sparkling water or something like that.
So how old is he now?
He is 43.
And he doesn't know any better with all of his money to hire a taxi or get a driver. What do you do?
Uber or Lyft. Uber or Lyft are absolutely everywhere, especially in the Hamptons at this time of year. We're in season, you know. It's crazy.
Why would you ever get behind the wheel when you got that much dough and all you got to do is get your driver?
I'm also curious who he was out with and who wasn't able to like take his keys away or say no, or like you shouldn't be driving. That to me is probably someone who has too many yes men around him.
So when the cop arrested him, did he reach over and grab that little patch on the front of the guy's shirt and tear it open so exposing his titty too?
I'll have you naked by the end of this song.
That was very good. I like that.
Yeah, wardrobe malfunction did not exist until 2004 when JT did that, and then basically blamed Janet Jackson for the entire thing.
Of course. Well, he's probably drunk at the time.
He like, honestly, I can't stand him because of that. I've never liked him ever since, because obviously it was a stunt by the two of them. However, whether it was a stunt or whether it accidentally happened, however, but the two of them were involved. It's not just one person. And he showed up at the Grammys. She was uninvited to the Grammys since then. I know that Janet Jackson has forgiven him, but I'm going to take one for Janet and say, he doesn't deserve the forgiveness.
What do you think of the family show today if I try to talk Catherine into that? Do you think it'd work?
No.
I don't either.
I feel like he'd get hugged.
I might get punched right in the nose. Exactly.
And then Justin also cheated on his wife in public too. That was fun.
Oh God, why?
You guys remember that one?
No. Yep.
He was in New Orleans filming a movie, and of course, you know, there's paparazzi everywhere. But he and I think it's Alicia Wainwright, the actress who was filming the movie Palmer with him. They were sitting on a balcony at a bar, and of course they're like holding hands, completely drunk out of their minds again. And then he had to do a public apology. And it turned out at the time his wife was home and pregnant with their second son while this was going on.
Oh God.
So, I mean, Jessica Biel, who is his wife, has been giving him a lot of passes. And maybe, I'm just going to throw this out, but maybe alcohol isn't the right choice for him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt. You're a bad drinker. Cut it out.
Yeah, he's making bad decisions while drinking. So
on the booze, that's what you were going to say? When he's on the booze.
Well, he's a booze hound, I guess. Allegedly.
He's a booze hound. I know you love that booze hound thing.
Well, it makes me laugh because it's such a funny. You always used to call me a booze hound. I'd be like, yeah.
You always used to call me a booze
hound. I'd be like, you should see all the alcohol we have in our house because I get a lot of it. It comes in gift baskets a lot,
sure.
And we don't drink it. It literally sits in our house. And we go to a party. We're like, we brought you like a whole basket of alcohol. They're like, what? I'm like, we just don't drink it. It's gonna go bad. Someone should drink it for a party at least.
What kind of alcohol is it? Is some of it wine?
Some of it is wine. We also get, a lot of times we get tequilas quite a bit. And I love a margarita with my Mexican meal, but I'll be honest, we just don't drink at home. So it's usually a special occasion. We have champagne, tons of vodka, rum. I get it all, honestly. And because especially when award shows roll around, oftentimes there are alcohol sponsors for the governor's balls and the after parties. So for the media, they'll be like, here's your gift bag. And I'm like, oh, there's like 4 more bottles of alcohol in here.
But you know what's good about that is that there are a bunch of like charities that could, if you donate that booze you're not going to drink anyway to them, they can really do some nice things with it. It's matter of fact, yesterday, by coincidence, you're talking about this because you didn't know, but yesterday, Kath and I donated 25 cases of really good wine to a local charity.
Oh, that's nice.
We can raise tons and tons of money to help the kids. No question. No doubt about it.
We can always do that. Or anyone who wants to invite me to their party, I will stock your bar.
You could do that.
So that is a cost savings for you just to invite Bill and I to your party.
Yeah, well, exactly. There you go. No, there's always a good use for that kind of stuff. So hold on to it and then someday donate it and help children in need out. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great example of what you can do. Cause I'm like, I'll think about that the next time I have a fully stocked bar. I've been giving it away lately at barbecues. I'm like, here we go.
It's called the Smile Network. You guys met everybody from the Smile Network, haven't you?
I don't know if I've met everybody, but I believe I've met a few.
Very nice people. Very, very quickly. The story was repeated last night after they left because they came and picked it all up and they're going to, and I was reminded of a story I told because I used to do an appearance at their Smile Network golf tournament every year. And they didn't have it last year, I don't think. But I was reminded by a couple of people about a joke I told because some people thought it was hilarious and other people were deeply offended. Smile Network helps children in poor countries with their bad dental problems or if their face is deformed. They help those kids out. They have helped so many
cleft
people.
lips and things like that.
Yeah,
too.
cleft lips, things like that. So I told the story about this guy. They were closing up one year. They're down in South America. And this guy shows up, very old guy, and his face is deformed. His teeth are all rotting out of his head. And he said, I've never come to a thing like this because I was, kind of embarrassed. But you guys, do you think there's any way you could fix my deformity? And they said, well, yeah, we'll get together one. So a couple of people got together, spent some time with him, and he never did get the surgery because it turns out people didn't stay away. He said the only thing he wanted to do was have a meal with one other person because he had never eaten with another person. He had always eaten all his meals alone his whole life. But I said, then it turns out that it wasn't from his deformity. It turns out the guy was an asshole. I got you with that one. Yeah, I mean, you strolled right into that one. Honest to God, though, I heard gasps from some people, other people laughing their ass off. There was no down the middle with that joke. I'll tell you that.
I just closed my eyes and took it all in.
You just closed
I'll take the joke in. That would have been me too at the event. Okay,
well,
Tom.
that could happen. It could be the case. You don't know.
You don't know.
All right. Anyway, moving along with the KB2 report.
Yeah. Our other big announcement today, besides Justin Timberlake, Netflix, they are going to open 2 100,000 square foot experiences, one at the King of Prussia Mall in Philadelphia, the other at the Galleria in Dallas. It'll be shopping outlets. It will be food courts. It will be experiences tied to some of their properties like Squid Games and Stranger Things. And these aren't just going to be pop-up experiences. They're going to be permanent displays. And this kind of comes on the heels of also Sony Entertainment buying Alamo Drafthouse. So you're really starting to see the entertainment companies realizing that they have to be sort of all-encompassing and ways to promote their projects. And, it makes me think a lot of Amazon when they basically shut down every mom and pop bookstore. And then they're like, now we're going to open our own brick and mortar stores now that everybody's out of business. That's what I feel like is happening with movie theaters and entertainment experiences. The streamers are like, we're going to get you all to just stay at home, but then we're going to create experiences to get you out. But of course, it's affected the movie theaters otherwise. But now we're in the business. So now we want you to go.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. And you got it all covered there out there today, don't you?
Oh, I'm all over the place.
You really are. There's no question about it. You know what we did? There was a British show. It's on the BritBox. Matter of fact, it's something about the flood after the flood. It's called. Have you know about this show at all?
Mm-mm.
It was such a good show. Watching it, the whole thing happened. There was about police officers in this small town. Or a medium-sized town, I guess. And the woman in it's really, really good. And all of a sudden last night we're watching it and we realized the 6th episode was the end. We thought it was going to continue. All of a sudden the show's just over. Like, man.
Welcome to British shows. Oftentimes
Yeah.
sometimes they only do 3 or 4 episodes, and that's it. They're done.
That's what they do with Endeavor. They do 3 episodes a year. And then I
Yeah.
think the last year they did 4 maybe, but that was about
They
it.
did that with Luther. Luther was always short.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
They're always
Oh.
serious like that. And you're like, well, wait. And, we sort of followed that model because now it seems to be about 8 to 10 on the
Yeah.
streamers.
Yep.
However, the trend is starting to swing the other way because we love Gen Z for this because they're saying, no, we want to sit here and watch 20 episodes, 21
Oh.
episodes a season. And this is why we're seeing Suits, White Collar, all of these shows really come back
Yeah.
because people
Yep.
are rediscovering them going, wait, you guys used to have 23 episodes a season, 26 episodes a season.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to start seeing that reinvestment into longer seasons. And honestly, I hope so, because when we're watching a show, like let's just take Emily in Paris, which is finally coming back. We've had pandemics and we've had strikes. I'm like, it's been 2 years. I don't know what happened in that last episode. You have to go back and watch. When you have a longer season, it's easier to remember what played out over those weeks.
Yeah. I after experiencing that last night, I was like, weren't there at least a couple more? Aren't there 8 instead of 6? I mean, Under the Bridge was 8 episodes.
Yep.
And that moved along rapidly as well.
And sometimes you feel like they miss details that probably needed to be
Yep.
explored in the storyline, but because the writers didn't have the gift of time, they had to go, okay, we're going to just kind of tie this in a neat bow and move on. So I do think we're going to start, and I don't necessarily think it's going to go right off the bat and be like, okay, we've jumped from 8 episodes a season to 23. But I
Right.
do think we might see a little bit more of creeping towards 12 to 15, which I think might be the happy compromise with all of this, because I do think we need some longer seasons. We don't need an abundance of shows. We need high quality shows to continue, especially where they're cutting budgets everywhere.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I tell you, I say it every day, but I'll say it again today. Television's never been better than it is right now. It's real.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some great shows, don't get me wrong, but all of television is really good now.
Yeah. And there's a variety for everyone. And,
Mhm.
as we even talked about yesterday with Tubi, if you're thinking, I want to explore Bollywood, well, that content is all right there for you.
Mhm.
You can go and just dive into the world of India and their very robust Bollywood TV shows and movies, which I think is fascinating, because years ago you would have to go and find an independent video store that
Yep.
might have a selection of 3 Bollywood movies. And now you have it right at your access 24/7, which is incredible.
Yeah, I haven't been to Blockbuster in quite some time.
Aw. Blockbuster nights, I will tell you, that was a core memory of
Oh,
going
yeah.
to the
Oh,
video
yeah.
store, picking out a movie, getting your Twizzlers, and then coming home and just watching movies. But it was also, I think, something that we've kind of lost was family movie night, because oftentimes
Yeah.
I know my family, we would pick one movie over the weekend and we would all watch it together. And then everyone would kind of get their own movies too. But that doesn't exist the same way in 2024.
You know what's interesting about that? I never even thought of this, but Blockbuster went through a couple of bumps in the road, and finally even the one out in Utah or wherever the hell it is.
Oregon.
Oregon, that's where that's closed now, from what I understand.
Oh, it's still open.
Oh, is
There's
it really?
There's one still in
one
existence.
left
Yeah.
in America. But
And it's become a tourist spot. They sell merchandise, and I think that is what keeps them
yeah.
going.
Can you imagine the money it took? Because when they first opened, everything was on
VHS.
cassette.
Yeah.
Yeah, DHS. They had to get rid of all of those and bring in all the discs, and then they came in, and then all of a sudden nobody wanted to do it anymore because everything. I mean, there was some huge expense to owning a Blockbuster, I would think.
Oh, I would imagine so, especially that turnover of
Yep.
inventory from VHS to DVD. I'm sure there's several years of overlapping, but to the point once they were selling DVD players for $25 at Walmart, you're not going to sit there and be like, okay, let me just get our VHS tapes out. I mean, and they disintegrate too over time, the
Yeah.
quality degrades. So
No doubt. That was a great family night, though, going to Blockbuster and picking out movies when my kids were little. That was fun.
it was I always used to buy Twizzlers too. I don't know why. It was my Blockbuster thing, even though you could go to your grocery store, 7-Eleven, and go
Yeah.
and buy your Twizzlers, but I always bought them right there at the counter. It was like my impulse buy. I'm like, yes, Twizzlers.
All right. Any new shows you're going to talk about coming up this week?
No, not yet, but I'm going to actually just talk about one Minnesota related thing that for you guys. Ellen DeGeneres making her comeback tour, and she is filming in Minneapolis, you guys.
Why?
The special.
Oh, really?
She thinks, yeah.
What venue?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'd have to look at her dates are on her her Instagram page. See if you can find it out.
It looks like.
Oh, she's at the Orpheum?
Yep.
The Orpheum.
When?
August 16th and 17th.
17th, yeah. And she added it August 15th date. But if you will see, I thought this was interesting because she's so controversial, but her dates are selling out. She's adding second and third shows.
Mm-hmm.
So the audience is definitely there for her. And I was thinking, if she can come, if Louis C.K. can come back and sell out venues, so can Ellen DeGeneres. So I guess it's that comedy audiences are very forgiving.
Can I close with this? And I know people get pissed off at me about this, but I will never understand why anybody thought he was funny. I didn't think he was funny in the least. Louis C.K.
I was at one primetime Emmys. I remember being in the audience and he was like winning every single award he won, like writing that year and acting that year, and the show won that year. And I was like, it's a mediocre show, but
no, it's okay. It was all right.
But his fans are there for him, and he will. Doesn't matter what happened during the Me Too era, they will always go and buy a ticket. So he has no worries. He probably won't land another TV show per se, like he did.
Yeah.
But if he wants to go and sell out venues, he absolutely will.
That's another thing everybody needs to understand too. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean everybody else doesn't like it. I respect that. We have different senses of humor, right?
Yeah, and different senses of moral compass.
Well, there is that too. All right, sister. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. One of the things I love about her so much in closing is when you say things like, it turns out it wasn't the performance. Everybody thought he was an asshole. The look she gets on her face is like, oh, I just took a punch right in the gut. She's wonderful. I love Kristyn Burtt. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. Family show up in about 12 minutes.